co-host Jeremy Scipio, and the OG homeboy Von Roberts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what's up, man?
And I do have to say, man, Von had me cracking up a few minutes ago, man. You know what I'm saying? He had a interesting little about things opening back up. So what's up, Von? What's up, man? What you been up to?
Yeah, much. Basically just producing content, man, and getting shit going. Like trying to be productive and stand clear of too many people, and help out with the whole crisis situation. Try to help the people out.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you helped us out, and you're not on that couch right now that you was talking about earlier with the
couch. That shit was funny.
Yeah, the casting couch. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that is fucked up because that's how any any black leather couch like that has been ruined for everybody just because of porn.
You said ruined.
I'm about to say, literally, if you don't watch porn, that joke gonna miss everybody. So, like, literally,
but you
anybody who's involved, they go, oh.
Hey, but but porn is in the billions, so I'm statistically I'm a large number.
Oh yeah. No, you kill it. But I'm just thinking, like,
man. But even
the audience,
even if they don't watch porn, man, you know what I'm saying? That's some 1930s. You know what I'm saying? Before they had the couch, they had the rock. They had the
rock.
Yeah, the casting rock. You know.
Oh no, you tell me about something. Yeah, what's the casting rock?
They had something. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I got a quick question, man. You a OG, Greg. You know what's been trending, man. The whole Jaguar Wright thing. What's your thoughts on that, son? I know you're close to the fire, but I want to hear what you got.
No. The closest I could get to that is that before I started going out with the Pharcyde, their bus was the first tour bus that Black Thought ever walked on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That was like a thing that I guess he said in the interview. He was like, man, Pharcyde's bus was the first tour bus I ever walked on because, you know, they used to do shows back in the day. But it's funny how social media kind of just gets people all stirred up and in their emotions. And if they don't got much going on in their life, it's an easy distraction. And today, so I said I was going to try something new for the show. I didn't have my obligatory shots. And, you know, I just came home, chilled out, watched a little bit of the Republican convention, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sure the American Horror Story writers were watching it too and getting all that good content. You know what I'm saying?
They actually follow me on Instagram. That's funny.
Yeah. So that was kind of crazy. But you know, the trip is while I was chilling, eating my dinner and scrolling through some social media stuff, somebody on YouTube popped up with I don't know if it was Twitter or if it was Instagram, but it had to be Twitter because I really don't engage in Twitter, but because it was kind of like a Jaguar Wright said something and then Black Thought actually hit her back like in 2019. He was saying something to the effect of, you know, don't take things personal to the point of where you internalize them, and we're all, you know, adults now and our paths crisscross, and I've been on your songs, you've been on my songs, and I'm not gonna say what it made me feel like was she just had venom to spit, but it wasn't because he didn't reach out to her, because he, like, you could see in that Twitter thing where he, you know, responded to her like, man, don't take it personal. And then she was upset about not going to his wedding, and he's like, man, I only had 50 people at my wedding. It was expensive. He's like, I didn't even have my girl's family at the wedding. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that.
Was he involved? Was he in the accusations though?
Yeah.
She hit a lot of people, man. It wasn't too many people.
But she hit it.
It was literally everybody that I fucked with in the mid 2000s. like she hit everybody.
No
people, man.
That's one way to look at it. But the other way you can look at it is she was fucking with everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody talking about that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she was.
Just for our listeners' sake, Jaguar Wright is a singer who was involved. Pretty much, he had some very harsh accusations towards. Huh?
She's the queen. She's the queen of what do you call that music?
Neo Soul.
Yeah, she's the queen of Neo Soul.
Yeah. Hold on, wait. Let's not go that far. No offense to her.
No. She is.
You got Erykah Badu and you got Jill Scott.
No, she was before.
The best she could be is a princess.
No.
Jeremy, he's right. She actually has been
She was
recorded.
first.
Actually, she was the one who created the
whole. She was first.
And she actually put Jill Scott on.
Yeah, no, she was first.
Okay.
Everybody just bumped out on her.
Well, respect due. Jaguar Wright had some accusations towards Common, Talib Kweli, and pretty much everybody in that class.
No, every man that she dealt with
the women too, Greg. She fucked up Jill Scott and Erykah Badu and a couple of others too.
But I'm not saying she fucked with them. What I'm talking about is every man that she dealt with from that point on up. Everybody was horrible. They wasn't worth nothing. They was abusers, and which
is wild because these are pretty strong, prominent black men in our, just as far as the Black American experience. These are men that we look up to and we admire a lot. So it does kind of suck if given her accusations.
I'll tell you this. She said that she was bisexual.
Yes, she did say that.
And I'm sure that she was bisexual during that time. What I'm saying is she talked about every man that she was dealing with during that time and didn't no woman. I mean, she was just on one so tough. Didn't one woman stir her pot? You know what I'm saying? Get her fired up.
She claimed that she was the dominant one in the female relationship, so she didn't have to deal with that too much.
Well, the thing what comes with success is that you're going to always have, no offense to anybody, but you're always going to have people, detractors, that they're going to have their story about you. So, not to take away validity from anybody's story, but, everybody has their version of that. So I hope that this isn't just that situation, exaggerated. Maybe. Go ahead. You're an insider, so you might.
No, dude, it ain't even, dude. It's simpler than that. It ain't even about the inside. I processed it because, at my office, I try not to do it too much because that's just like garbage, not garbage, but it's tabloid. You know what I'm saying? So I'll listen after 5. If I'm gonna stay at my office till like 6, I'll try to listen after 5. Or if I'm doing absolutely nothing that requires thought, I'll listen a little bit during the day. But one thing that I noticed listening to her story, she made it a point to say that she was bisexual, but she didn't speak ill on any women. But it was like every dude who she came in contact with was just wild. You know what I'm saying? Like every dude. Like she didn't have one dude that she talked and said, okay, well, I dealt with this guy and then he was cool or whatever. And it's just like, dude, I just feel like she's not perfect, man. You know what I'm saying? And people just aren't airing her out. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, man, with her being as alpha as she is in a female, I just don't see anybody just running over her the way that she was just talking about. Everybody was just running over her, man.
I see what you're talking about, Greg, and I do see that psychologically. I don't know how people could have even one-upped on her, seeing as that she was
already saying that she would beat everybody down.
Yeah. And that she would go into a room and she would basically take over the room. Like she would move around the room and be like, and very observant. Or maybe she's like an after the fact person,
Yeah, but when you're hearing people's stories, they always, I don't know, I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people want to be the hero and the victim of their story. So, you know, you're going to get both versions from people. And this is me not knowing anything about her personally. I'm just saying that, you know, just sometimes when you tell people you ever hear somebody just talking, you be like, oh, word. Yeah. So they bombarded you, but then you stood up for yourself. Got it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's at the end of the day, you know, until there's more evidence or more story, I mean, we can't really go off of anything, you know, but it is still just troubling to hear some of the men that we grew up admiring, just hearing negative, because you don't hear much negative about these guys, like at all.
About that community, that's why it was such a shock to see that just positive community be declothed like that. You know what I'm saying? Derobed.
Dude, it wasn't declothed, dude. Let me tell you something. Only people that cared, and dude, her cycle, unless she's promoting an album she's doing or trying to get involved in this versus thing or whatever, sad to say, dude, no one's really tripping off of her, man, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the cold part about it, like nobody is. But you know, for me,
first I'm hearing about her. So.
Well, I knew who she was. I knew who she was, and I knew, you know, that she was responsible for the whole, like she was that female neo soul singer. You know what I'm saying? She was that female neo soul singer. But the thing about it is, it's kind of like, for me, the way I engage with people, even if I'm not feeling you, but you were my folks at a time, I'll talk to you about whatever my issue is, and I'll look you in your eyes, or I'll talk to you on the phone, and I'm more of a pull up on somebody type of a thing.
Yeah.
And they may feel that it's out of weakness that I'm pulling up, but for me, it's more like, man, I really want to see all this stuff that you know, whoever you are in your feelings, I want to see you say this to me in my face, and I want to look at you in your eyes to see that you're of clear thought, clear conscience, and everything, so that I can feel the way I want to feel about you. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see that it wasn't me just being in a certain way, or I'm feeling a certain way, or I'm being sensitive, or I'm being this way or that way, whatever. Dude, I ask people all the time, if they say something crazy to me, I repeat it back to them, and they might not even catch it for me to get them to repeat it back to me to understand what they're talking about. And dude, once I've seen that was what the pure intention and the pure heart was, oh man, I'm 100 miles. I'm 100 miles and running. But this is one thing, like me being a 70s baby, there was this scenario that would be on sitcoms, and the scenario would be like maybe a minimal of 3 people, and something would happen, and each person would have to tell their version of the story, and each person sensationalized themselves. And for you guys, if you watch The King of the Hill, there was a episode where they wanted to be firemen. And so they were all firemen, but then somebody set off a smoke alarm, or something got burnt, or something like that.
Bill.
Yeah.
How we don't know that? Bill.
and they all told their side of the story. Dude, people that didn't have hair had hair on the top of their head. People that were fat had muscles, you know. And I say that to say, that Jaguar Wright's story is her story, and it is her reality, but I feel there was other realities going on at the time that she didn't speak on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just very difficult for me to feel that she was just the victim like that so much, being that she's so alpha.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, guys. Into
because
Roburts, man, our guest, 3-peat, bro. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah.
It's so interesting, man. I am a lover of all back in history. Bro, when I tell you, when I hear like the stories, like, so what happened? You was there in the 80s, and they went down into the garage, and they was having sex while Pauly Shore was upstairs. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Oh, okay. That's what happened? That's crazy.
Oh man,
you know, we've been around long enough to where we actually witnessed our own stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, we actually been present for some comedy history. So
some radical shit, man. I'd be like, whoa,
Hey man, I got a Pauly Shore story, man. I was flying with him, and oh man, that fool was like, I don't know if he was drunk or if he was faded, but he had a black. It was a black stewardess. You know what I'm saying? And like, man, he straight said to her like, because she was just jocking him, like she was hella jocking him, dude. She was on him.
She was excited to see him.
Well, I think she might have known who he was, or she just knew because of where, you know, he was sitting, that he was, you know, something or whatever. And I think he, you know, he had that look of dressed down eccentric was the look. And that fool said to her, this is the closest paraphrase I can get to it. Yo, we're gonna be in LA for a couple of days, and or they were just coming back to LA. And he said, you know, if you have any friends that look more like me and they don't really look that much like you, you know, we all need to get together and hang out. And basically what he was saying was he wanted to hook up with like maybe some flight attendants or whatever, or have them come to a party or meet him at a bar, but he, you know, he didn't want to be black. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of,
you know what? I can respect him for that. You know, that was very honest. And then on top of that, you know, he wasn't the idea of just, you know, just nuzzling his worm to this young black sister that was obviously tainted by white supremacy.
But I like how you flipped it around. I don't respect him, but I respect you for respecting him.
And you know, the crazy thing about it is, she was attractive and she was light complected and everything. But what he did was she jocked him so hard that he kind of put her to the dude who he was sitting next to. Like he put her off on him, and he was with it. You know what I'm saying? He was, I don't know what he was to him, but he, you know, he was with it. But I was just like, dang, that was cold. I was like, man, that was cold. He straight said, you know, you can meet up with us and bring some friends, but you know, we don't want them. I don't want them to look like you. You know what I'm saying?
What's even way? Go ahead, Jim.
No, I was just say, you know, when somebody's of a certain status, they can say more and they get blown off. You know what I mean?
It gets real when they don't think you have any power behind anything you have to say.
Man, I don't even think it was about that. I think that she was just jocking so hard, and he just felt empowered to just really be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because she was jocking him hard, man. Honestly, I've never seen a flight, and I've flown, you know, several times, but I haven't seen a flight attendant on somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
You're right, Greg. I worked at the airport before, and usually flight attendants are way more composed because they see so many people they don't care.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah. And even like, dude, I've had dudes who have been in different bands, like dudes. I can't remember what the person played, but we had brought somebody out on the road one time, and it was they weren't our, I can't even remember who it was, but they weren't our steady band member, but he ended up, it was amazing that she ended up asking him for his hookup, you know what I'm saying? But she was discreet with that, even though, you know what I'm saying? She was discreet with that, even though like she might have passed him a drink or something like that and then came back around. But we didn't, or rather I won't say we, because I was sitting by him, everybody else were kind of spaced around. And it might have been a trip to Europe because it was a long flight, but we were coming back from Europe. That's what it was. But she was with it. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't let us know that she was with it. And then I think at baggage claim or something, homeboy was like, yeah, you know, I was like, what are you doing? You need a ride home, whatever. He's like, no, man, I'm about to go and have a drink. I'm about to have a drink with who? He's like, oh. I'm like, okay.
But I tell you one thing, Greg, the flight attendants, from my experience, they fly so much and be so busy because they shifts are very chaotic that they be down for the hookups, the random hookups. They're down for that shit. You just gotta shoot your shot. If they fuck with you, they fuck with you.
Yeah,
I never messed with a flight attendant. So
yeah, I've never seen. Yeah, I haven't.
Hey, they be doing them bumps too to keep themselves awake. You know what I mean? On them red eyes.
Hey man, your boy's a predator, Jeremy. You know what I'm saying? Your boy.
I look now. I've talked to a hotel attendant or whatever, but never a flight attendant. I don't even know what that. That must be a great life.
I met a flight attendant one time.
Hey, I knocked down a couple of Deltas. You don't.
That's not the right type of Deltas.
Man.
You don't get. They a lot of times. You know what I'm saying. I've got a couple of like buddy passes off a few of them, but you just knocked out. Dude. You don't really get nothing, man.
Dude, I'll say this. I've only met one, and it was early 2000s. Dude, I'll say her shooting 50,000. She asked me for my number, and it's crazy because I didn't even keep up with. Man, I should have been on frequent flyer miles. I wasn't even on them. Dude, she tossed me 25 to 50 like it wasn't nothing. 25 to 50 like it wasn't nothing.
Jeez.
Like wasn't nothing. What's your frequent flyer number? Woo woo. And this would be because Delta's hub was in Atlanta. So it would just be some stuff like she would call me and she was in Atlanta because she lived somewhere else and she would fly around and like the flying helped out whatever she was doing, whatever. She'd ask for my number and she just like zapped me like that, be like, bam. Like, ooh.
You still cool with her? No,
bro, I tell you that they be a lot of them be having like two homes because they do like a timeshare with the apartments near the hub. So a lot of them don't ever get to go home. That's why I said they be turning up, man, crazy.
No, I tell you about this one. This one, she was cold because she had like, I want to say she lived somewhere around maybe like Nebraska or something like that. That's where she lived. And she had a cleaning business. And so for her off days, she would go there and she'd clean houses and do all that with her cleaning business. And then she would bounce out and then she would like fly the other half of the week. And I was like, hey man, that was kind of like the intriguing part. I was like, damn, she got some hustle.
Yeah. I almost became a flight attendant. I would have ended up being, I think God saved me, man, because I would have been terrible. I would have been indifferent. I would have probably had babies in like 50 states by now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming to get you. Night. I only got an hour.
So where are you originally from? Nah, where are you originally from?
I'm from LA, South Central.
For real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Vermont, yeah.
You said where?
37th of Vermont.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let me see. 37th of Vermont is over there.
You want to get detailed, the Brim Hood. Fruit.
Yeah, by USC. Oh, man. Ooh-wee. You okay. So I'll tell you, because the Pharcyde had a house, Pharcyde Manor. It was off of where the Golden Bird used to be, like off of Adams. It was like off of Adams and Normandy.
Oh yeah. My peoples, they stay on Adams and Crenshaw, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Or it was either Adams or Jefferson. It was either Adams or Jefferson, but it used to be a Golden Bird over there. And
Adams and Jefferson, they run parallel. So
it was Jefferson. Jefferson was the or was it Adams? Jefferson.
I would believe that it was Adams because Adams is when it gets towards Adams, you get towards Mid City. A lot of celebrities live over there, man.
Oh, this wasn't about no celebrity, man. This was a frat house that they ended up getting after they got their record deal or whatever, and they stayed over there. And fools didn't realize how hood it was until fools was just in the thick of it. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, one of the reasons they had to bounce was there was this, so they were kind of blowing up as they got into the house because they got the house like after Jaguar Wright it came out, and there was this dude across the street, and they always went out of their way to be kind of, because no one kind of got that they were like a music group, but it was like a bunch of young Black kids. Like we were like, I know I was probably about 20, 21 years old. Like we're young, and they were going somewhere in a limo, and the dude across the street asked if they could take if the limo could take him to do
What?
a drive-by, and when they said no, he was kind of salty about. Really, he was kind of salty about.
Like a drive-by.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy.
That's how that's how real. One of the dudes who I live with, I won't mention his name, but one of the dudes who I lived with there, the kids were so crafty that there was this guy who had a 200, it was like a 240Z on Dayton's that was in the backyard. And the neighborhood kids came over, and the dude who I was staying at the house with while the group was on the road, they told him that the owner of the car told them to come over and to get the wheels off the car, and he let them. And dude, this was like 12 and 13-year-old kids, dude. The 240Z was on bricks, and the Dayton's was gone. Dayton's was gone. I was like, oh my God.
He didn't decide to make a call before he made that decision.
He wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Oh, he's fired.
Before, he didn't. It was accepted.
Why? He said he's fired. Yo, so okay, how about this? All right, bringing it back to comedy. So, who is? Because I was just talking to somebody about this. Who is your comedy GOAT?
Mine?
Yes.
Well,
No judgments. No judgments.
Okay, well, mine's would have to be the only person I could actually relate to would have to be Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice? No, I was playing. No, that's a good one actually. You already know how we talk about that.
Yeah.
You already know.
Reason Patrice is my go-to guy is because his body of work always speaks to me. You know what I mean? It always inspires me, and I don't have to force myself to get in a mood to learn from him. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the people that the other person, a lot of people don't like, but I'm gonna say his name anyway. The other person who would be in that running, it would be Louis C.K.
Okay.
Dang.
And
I'm not even judging you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Louis C.K. is because one, yeah, he is a creep for the situation that he was in. That was weirded out, bro. But let's keep it a buck, fam. Let's keep it a buck. He didn't force anybody to do anything, and he didn't stop at nobody. They just stay on their own merit. So
he asked.
Yeah, he voiced that he was trying to have a nightcap, and they jokingly said they was with it or they didn't. Whatever. I'm not gonna go into that.
No, they said that they did, but they felt under duress because of his power. Supposedly, that was the story.
Man,
they got the right attorney. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, people don't use the word duress until they get legal.
No, that's what I'm saying. They got the right attorney.
Yeah. Hey, they start throwing goofy ass words out like, "You guys were on an expedition. You guys were traveling with each other to a secret location, and that when you arrived at the location, there was so much stress involved. You couldn't make a clear-coded decision. You were under a duress." That's what you're going to tell the judge.
He felt intimidated by his power and stature.
His power.
They couldn't say no, so they had to watch him.
They had to watch him
on himself.
Yeah, as long as his power is very formidable, you'll win this.
Yeah, and so for anybody who hasn't caught it,
they caught him at the right time because he was just taking that extra step into producing his own movies. You know what I mean? But regardless of that, I think Patrice is a great choice for GOAT because, I mean, like I said, me and you talk about it because I think we're going through similar things in our life around the same time. He gives you a good blueprint on dealing with the opposite sex and knowing your role, you know what I mean, in the whole ecosystem that is, just dating and life and manhood, masculinity, or whatever. I mean, that's what I appreciate about him.
He's just a great example of just being an average guy who's trying to do right. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get his life together. and still exploring the different thoughts that come into your mind very honestly. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to formulate a punch on some weird shit, but just very honest and very creative. And then as far as Louis C.K. is concerned, I like when he does the same thing. He comes at different taboo topics, and when a person is very honest with themselves and they can go into those taboo topics, there has to be some kind of exploration within their own self for them to have that honest point of view. But on a business note, I respect Louis C.K. because he didn't end up like Patrice, because I feel like Patrice lacked on business.
Yeah.
Is excellent when it came to being on stage. Like his business sense was weak because there was a whole bunch of things that he could have had for himself due to the fact that he was such a magnificent comic, versus Louis C.K., who has, when you watch his shows, any show that he's affiliated with, he's got multiple credits throughout the whole credit situation. Oh, he was executive producer, he was the writer, he was the shooter, he was also the location scout. And then his name to be like 5 or 6 times.
But to be fair, Louis had 15 years of not, total success to lament on to know to do that. Patrice, when he passed away, it was literally in the beginning of his superstardom. So who knows where he would have ended up if, because he died in 2011. Elephant in the Room, I watched it. I remember I was in Vegas. I enjoyed myself watching that. And that was my first exposure to him. Who knows where Patrice would have been in 2020. So to your point, but also just being fair on both sides, I feel like he was finally getting it together. You know what I mean?
Be fair, but I was speaking in the sense of because I'm a diehard for him, and I was speaking in the sense of that he didn't get to reach that. So what is, so what evidence do we have of any type of business sense? He didn't showcase that. He was always a part of somebody's show, not having his own show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was
Chris Rock chastised him about that.
He was always, he didn't put forth, it didn't showcase him putting forth the effort to put himself in a position where he's producing his own product when he was at the front line of being in the know of all these different routes that he can go, and he didn't engage in any of them. You know what I'm saying? Versus Louis C.K., where he went and bought himself a server and put out his own specials so they wouldn't have to be on YouTube, to make them more exclusive. You know what I'm saying? So those were the evidence of business sense and entrepreneurship within comedy, which as comedians, we're so knowledgeable and smart. We're supposed to be exploring different routes to monetize ourselves so nobody won't monetize off of us.
Amen. Is that what we're supposed to do? That was supposed to do? Because
because you look at people like, for instance, bring it back to the hip hop evolution. I loved it so much because I watched the beginning stages of hip hop, and it was and people were loving the artistic fact. You know what I'm talking about, Greg? People were loving the artisticness of it, but they didn't never think outside of being an MC. They were on stage, they would say all these magnificent things, and then somebody would memorize their lyrics, and then next thing you know, you got Rapper's Delight.
But it's with all that, I'll say kind of how history repeats itself. I can remember back in the 90s, like we'll say 89, well, it was after 89. So we say like 90, 91, when the Pharcyde was coming out with Jaguar Wright. There was a point in time, and that's so funny because I just talked to one of my homeboys today that said he used to date somebody who did a documentary or whatever, and then I totally forgotten about that. But it's a trip because there was a point in time like 91 where art and music met, you know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like the photographer, the person who was really an artist that painted, that was an artist and all that. And these were all the cool people at the party. And like graffiti writers. Like I knew one dude who was like a huge graffiti writer, but he would hang out at the hip hop stuff. And he was just like that eclectic guy, but you had all these people together. And it reminds me of when I was out with Gorillaz, I talked to the bass player for The Clash, Paul Simonon, and he was telling me about Manchester. and he was saying how like
Manchester in England, right?
yeah, and he was telling me how like all the cool people kind of, because you know me, I was, when I was younger, I was into punk rock, and then there was like some right-wing punk, and then there was some very liberal punk in liberal reggae and all that kind of stuff. And one of the guitar player in the class, he had a group called Big Audio Dynamite, and he was in the group. They had a bass player that was like a reggae bass player, and then they had like these other guys. But it was a trip how you could be from different parts in different places, but all these creatives could come together to create something that everybody liked. And what I see it as now is like popular music or popular culture. Popular culture, you have a TV show, you have a writing table, you may have a dude from the hood, you may have a dude from the suburbs, you may have somebody who's spoiled, whatever, and then you have all these people, and they'll shape the idea into something that can kind of reach and touch, kind of like everybody.
That's how it's supposed to be, but we all know the writer's room is white as Wonder Bread.
It depends on which, you know, it depends on what it is, though. I still believe it's some brothers.
Off the bomb, man. The conversation get too real, man.
Hey,
he can't even hold it back.
I can't even allow for people to not know what's happening here. You going like, okay, so you go into Insecure's writing room. No disrespect, but I got inside plug. There's only like 3 black people in there. The rest is like motherfucking what the fuck
the people
NYU
that
ass kids.
The people that help the check to get written, so that everybody can do this fun thing and profitable thing that's going on.
Yeah, and then the rest is NYU kids who don't have no insight into Inglewood black or female.
Well, let's be honest on what a writer is. You know what I mean? A writer is someone who got a degree in writing and decided they needed a job, and they're going to experiment on us as the product. I mean, that's what majority of the writers are.
Because you look at Netflix shows just showcase that they feel that a lot of times when they're you look at these writing rooms in these TV shows, because I look at a TV show and I go, okay, I'm gonna go look at the credits. Who's in that room writing? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it'll show it and sometimes it won't. And I look at it and I'll be like, well, it's been confirmed. That's why this black person is compounded with so many different things. You'll have one black person in the show, the black person to be the gay person, the person in the interracial relationship. They'll have all these different dynamics to them that they think brings depth to the black person, because they think that black culture is everybody's culture. So we don't have any depth when it comes to the show.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. Yes, sir. Von Roburts, you know what I'm saying? So what kind of comedian would you classify yourself as, Von?
Man, a real one. I like when I say real, I say like I probably won't be a good comic no more if I become successful. Because because my advantage of me being a great comic is that I can see what's happening in the world from the underbelly. You know what I mean? You know how when you're funny because you have insight. You know what I'm saying? And your point of view. My point of view just so happens to be that I can talk to people on the ground floor who are the blue collar workers, the people that don't really get any, that, you know what I mean, don't really have a voice. And I tell it from a real standpoint. You'll have people talking about all this liberal shit, and I'll tell you what really happened. You know what I'm saying? Like when I had a joke where I was talking about the Me Too movement. I said the Me Too movement was a pyramid scheme. I said, one, look at the Me Too movement, okay? Who benefited off of that? It was a bunch of women that felt like they needed to have the same amount of money as their acting co-star male counterparts who were the bringers. Okay, the male guy, you look, Amy Schumer, you can't get money. and I'm just using her name as an example. It's not a specific situation. You can't get the
Keep
same
going.
is Denzel. Okay, he is the bringer. He's gonna bring an audience that is gonna pay. You are gonna bring an audience that is like very very sporadic. 1 minute they're with you and 1 minute they're not with you. 1 minute they care and 1 minute they don't care. You know what I'm saying? Depends on how good you're doing. That's like somebody doing a movie with Tiffany Haddish and Morgan Freeman, and then Tiffany Haddish is like, I need to be paid the same amount as Morgan Freeman. You're like, bitch, are you out of your mind? This is Morgan Freeman. His voice makes more in you.
She wouldn't do that though. So.
No, but I'm saying that was that's what was happening. And then you have all these women get on national TV and campaign for this. So you have women on lower classes that will never even see that type of money rallying for them. They're walking out in the streets. They're like, what the fuck? We need equal pay. I'm like, bitch, you know we both work at Taco Bell, right? We both getting $10. They still haven't fired you.
Nah, this is the thing though. You have you're and I could say this to you, and this is real and from the heart. You're jaded as a comedian because you're privy to information that other people really don't have. So it's other people that could look at it and say that may not have even known that the Me Too movement had anything to do with actors, actresses, whatever. And it was just a girl who, like, man, a dude was just over aggressive or just thugging on her or whatever. And he just did an idiot move. And then she felt like she wanted to, you know what I'm saying? So I just say, with that, I'll say, from where you are with the knowledge that you have, the examples that you gave of the Me Too movement were like on some co-star, show business type stuff or whatever, but everybody's not privy. Because like, dude, me listening to you, I heard about the Me Too movement, but dude, until you just spoke right now, I never put it together with the entertainment industry. Or that kind
but it was all. I think that's more. It originated from Facebook. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean the people. What he's saying is right, but the grievances were aired out on social media, and everybody's privy to a social media account and a history Google check. So, in that case, I can't excuse these people who take a position, who have power. You know what I'm saying? Like they choose it.
But you're privileged too, Jeremy. Well, y'all are jaded, dude. Everybody don't know what you know. Like, dude, you got
is jaded the new smart? Is that what jaded is the new having a memory? Like you just remember shit over a week ago?
I'm gonna tell you, hey Greg, I'm gonna say this, man. You know what I'm saying? The reason why it also, you know what also helps me? It helps me as a comic, especially as a Black comic, is I can talk about Black issues that Black people seem to forget about. Because Black people do this thing where they forgive and they forget. Niggas say something.
Let's be fair though. Let's be fair. I think it's beyond Black people at this point. I think that's just social media. It's like high school on a major level, to where if the cool kids ain't talking about it, then it's like it never happened.
I can agree. Jaguar Wright, like I'm saying, dude, she went out, she said what she said. It's yesterday.
Exactly. And the Roots still keep their job. No disrespect. I don't want them to lose their job, but if it had been popularized, then they would be in trouble. Yeah. But it wasn't popularized, so nigga, Questlove still gets to drum another day.
Oh my God. All right. So what would you say your favorite joke or topic that originates from you?
Weird stuff, man. I think of weird things. Like I had a joke, right? And most of the things that I think about that are super weird are compounded, right? So it'll be like poverty meets dating meets just self-care, right? So I had a joke where I was talking about when I lived in Atlanta, I was running out of money for a minute. So I didn't have a lot of money coming in as I predicted it would come in. So I had to to hold me over until my money started getting right. I had to start fucking with the plasma bank, right? So while I'm fucking with the plasma bank, which has to do with poverty, I'm also, you know what I'm saying, going in there and looking in there, and I'm starting to see all these badass chicks, like good looking chicks. And I'm like, man, if I see this chick here again, that means her blood is clean. Because I was afraid that this chick in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? I'm living in Atlanta. I'm like, everybody got AIDS.
You can't just be giving out free blood or cheap blood if your stuff ain't clean.
And they check you before they give you the money. So I'm like, I'm in there with junkies and everything. But I'm like, man, I got an LLC, so it should be all right. You know, I can't judge people, man. Let me get up in here. You know what I'm saying? These girls need money, man. And they looking for a good looking guy like myself that got something going for himself. So let's do this, man. They blood is clean. They ain't got the I can deal with going to get a shot, but I can't go and get rid of the AIDS. I don't got that Magic Johnson money.
Hey, to swerve off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Tell me this. Have you watched any of the political conventions?
You know what, man? I'm one of those black dudes that I listen to what's going on, but I also remember I read about how the political parties were started and what they originally stood for. So if I do vote, it'll be because I really want to see something happen. But right now, I ain't voting for nothing. I ain't gonna front you.
But this is the thing, though, man. Honestly, it's very educational if you watch these people talk, though. I mean,
I watch them talk because I watch Kamal. People forget, man. I replay. I was gonna make a post about it, you know what I'm saying, and put it on my gram and do my YouTube and talk about it. But people forget, nigga. I had to rewind the tape. They're like, Kamala Harris and Biden's going good, but you forget that Kamala Harris called Biden a racist and a sexual offender in the first debate. So you on his team now?
Oh boy!
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all squad now. Try to fuck him up. I saw you.
I was watching the Republican whatever, you know, right before we hopped on, you know what I'm saying? And like I was saying to you guys off camera, man, it was like American Horror Story, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It was everybody sweet. It was Trump's wife was wearing a trench coat. You know what I'm saying? They tried to, you know, normalize but low key sexualize her to the, you know, whatever, barely able to read, you know what I'm saying? Pronounce. It was just like, oh man,
bro.
I'll tell you what's crazy is what Donald Trump Jr. said, which was like mind blowing because that's how you know there's a such thing as right and wrong and people understanding it. He pretty much came out and said that pretty much, you know, because of the George Floyd thing, that all cops that, you know, pretty much murder somebody due to race, you know, should be convicted. And he said every cop should understand that. You know what I mean? Which is crazy because that's literally what we've been waiting for our president to say this entire time. So that means that, and it's not a mystery. That means that they know what's right and wrong, but they choose not to do anything about it.
Or they choose, or Jeremy, they know it's right and wrong, but they choose the precise time to act on it, so it will benefit their whole situation.
No, we all saying the same thing. It's Twilight Zone. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you the best example. There's a movie called The Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
And I tell you, okay, I'm gonna tell you the Donald Trump moment. Go to when Danny Glover and Gene Hackman were in the kitchen, and then Angelica Houston hadn't walked in yet, and then Gene Hackman said something slick, and so then Danny Glover said, "Excuse me," and so Gene Hackman act like he didn't say nothing. So then Danny Glover went back to what he was saying. Then Gene Hackman said something slick again, and then Danny Glover said, "Excuse me." And then Gene Hackman said he said Sambo or Coon, or he said something, but he was trying to get Danny Glover's GOAT because Danny Glover's love interest was Angelica Houston, and Gene Hackman was trying to, you know, make Danny Glover look stupid or whatever.
Right.
But it's the same kind of thing with Trump. It's like he'll lie, he'll say whatever with a straight face, but he said something like an hour ahead of time that was 100% the opposite, but people don't even catch it. Like it's not like it doesn't even matter. Like it truly just doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter.
It just really blew my mind to hear, you know, the very thing that from the beginning could have changed something from his son. You know what I mean? I don't know. A lot of people were saying he was like on something or he didn't realize what, you know, what was going on.
He realized we're in the twilight zone, dude. He said that because he knows he's not gonna do nothing about it, and he knows Pops is gonna be out there tomorrow. Law and order. We need to crack the heads. We need to shake them up.
Crazy.
Crackheads. All I know how to do, I don't have any training. Crackheads.
Crackheads. Yo, so you know, I've been privy to you know, you doing your sketch thing and your stand-up thing. I was wondering personally, what do you prefer deep down in at your core?
Well, you know, I love doing stand-up. You know, I would prefer to do that most of the time, but for some reason, not for some reason, but people love to see me do sketches. They love to see me act out characters. I do take acting seriously. I do respect it. That's why, you know, I invested so much time in learning how to do it well and do it respectfully so I can share the stage with anybody or share the camera with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And still do my thing and, you know, just, you know, do a lot of character work and really showcase. So I would rather do the stand-up because it gives me a chance to be myself and it's easy. It doesn't take that much effort and work for me. But, you know, I know that the sketches speak volumes to a lot of people.
So tell me this, how have you been maneuvering since March?
Basically get into small groups and just shoot content. And I wanted to put together like a COVID show, but it just hasn't happened yet. But it's gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, that means that COVID ended.
I think you got a lot of time to get that together, my man.
You know what I got about that, man? I'm kind of sketchy, man, because you know, Wuhan had a pool party the other day. They were sipping Mai Tais, man. They ain't had no cases yet. You know what I'm saying? They had one unrecorded case of another person having it, and that person had it before. So they're like, "This nigga's weird." But then at the same time, I also think that the election will do something to us being inside. I also think that we're just slowly opening up and just letting people, you know, experience their COVID experience.
COVID. Hey man, that's the cold truth, man.
About it. But I mean, the shutdown, America is a capitalist country. So the shutdown was not a good thing for a lot of niggas. So a lot of niggas are like, hey, they're gonna be outside anyway. Strong music, the strong will survive. Let's get this money. You know what I'm saying? Open everything back up. The movie theaters are opening up on Friday. So I will be in it. I love Christopher Nolan. I'm gonna take
I like how some of the advertisements, they've been like in theaters only. Cause they like, yo, we need you to come.
It. They like, you gotta theaters. You want good, well-written stuff. You want the best of the best. You better come to the theaters. Cause that's the only place
movie, baby. You're right. It's movie theaters versus Disney Plus. That's what it was gonna boil down to.
But the movie theaters is gonna win because niggas been stocking up on good movies. All the major production companies held all their good movies. I've been waiting to see A Quiet Place Part 2 since last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man,
No, you ain't lying about that.
I'll say this. I'm not breaking no speed limits to go to hop into a movie theater, man. Closed in air with all these people. Nobody gonna want to have a mask on. Nobody's gonna have a mask.
I won't either.
They gonna be throwing popcorn, coughing.
I won't either.
If I'm good, hey, I tell people, man, I'd be like, hey, this is very dark. This is a dark vision for me, okay? I go, you gotta let go of the fear, fam, because you're gonna die anyway. That's a promise.
No, that's true.
But at the same time, you can't live your life like you can't die, like you avoiding everything is gonna help you not die. You're still gonna die. You may die sooner, you may die later. That's up to you and the universe.
But I'm still not breaking any speed limits to be in a closed movie theater.
I'm not saying do that, but I'm also saying do not live life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I live. I just move different though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm off.
You know,
I'm not
it's funny. I was in
death. I'm not trying to induce death, but nigga, if death comes, all I got to say to that is no more bills. Get it from God.
Yo,
Shouts out to Craig.
Look, I was in Arizona probably about a month ago.
I was there too.
Yeah, I think we just missed each other. We talked about that. We just missed each other like about a week or so. But I was in Arizona. I hit the homie up. I'm like, yo, first I go to Facebook, I'm like, who's in Arizona? Homie, like literally 7 people hit me up. The homie hit me up immediately, like, yo, I'm here. He said, what's up? I was like, yo, man, let's link. He goes, you trying to buy weed? I'm like, nah. He goes, oh man, well yeah, I can't come out due to COVID. He said, I thought you were trying to buy something. He said, I was gonna slide by real quick. So I was like, damn, you would slide by to make a buck off me, but you won't slide by just to see if I'm all right. that's what we living in right now.
Cold world, man. It's a cold world.
Like he was like, yo, I mean, I would even if like he ain't carrying like pounds, the nigga like, what you gonna make $20 off of me? You mean your company? My company's worth $20?
You 20?
That's pretty much where he was at with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I tell people.
But yeah, like, man. Look, so you're.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was telling people. I was
no,
like,
go ahead. I can't hear you. It's like
Wuhan virus. You know what I'm saying? And you out here eating McDonald's. McDonald's killed more niggas than COVID.
I'll be even more real than that.
Those fries, nigga.
I'll be more real than that, man. This one girl was giving me a hard time, and I'm like, you know, I know who you smashing. Like, you Corona's the last thing you need to be worried about, really.
Facts.
Yeah. All right. Look, this is about you. This is about you. So, look, man, you released a lot of projects. You know, as of recently, you know, I've actually been privy to a few of them. Can you please tell us about your comedy mixtape series and then also your comedy specials, your comedy albums?
Okay, so the comedy industry is very it can be very exclusive at times and very prejudiced, you know, against certain types of Black people, certain types of black traits, I would say, because they like certain types of Black dudes. You know what I'm saying? They have a phenotype. You know what I mean? And I think I didn't want to wait for nobody to co-sign me or to feel safe around me or with me. So I just started putting out my own projects. I would go and it'll be like, it was a couple of times me and Jerry we would go to do different shows all over the country, New York, different coasts and stuff like that. And I would just basically take a Tascam or a Zoom, you know, a Zoom or a Tascam, the thing that we record live performances with. And I would take that and I would edit the live performance and I would just put it on on SoundCloud in the format of a project, of a mixtape. And that's what I was doing. I did like 7 of them. And that was over the course of 2 to 3 years. And people got wind of it, and blogs and stuff were going crazy for a minute. The Wayne's family, they reached out to me. They said they were supporting what I was doing. Shout out to Damon Wayans Jr. And yeah, people were reaching out to me and stuff, and trying to link up and talk to me about where do I see this going. And I was just like, honestly, I was just like, man, I'm just trying to be heard. I'm just trying to just put out projects. I like doing this. I'm not even getting no money from it. It's just me expressing myself artistically, you know what I mean? And staying true to the craft, just trying to be, you know what I'm saying, heard and shit. So then after that, it was like, okay, well, you need, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna continue to just give away free material? So I was like, you know what? Let me put out a real project and not even worry about who's gonna receive it or what's gonna happen or how big my audience is or whatever, all that stuff. I put all that shit on the side because it would affect, I felt like it would affect the artistry and the project itself. You know what I'm saying? Because as a comedian, I feel like being your most uninhibited self and being raw and funny is the main point. You know what I'm saying? To focus on the art, the money will come later. That's always my train of thought. Mm-hmm. Focus on putting together stuff and building an audience and getting people to like your material and support what you do, and the money will eventually come and they won't feel guilty about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they would love to support you. Like, I have people now that love to support me, that will, you know what I'm saying, Venmo me money. I don't even see it coming. You know what I mean? And that's a blessing, and I'm happy to have those type of supporters. And I love using the word supporter because that's what they are. I don't call them fans or none of that shit, even though they would call themselves that. I just don't do that because, you know what I'm saying, I don't want people to feel like they're worshiping me. I want them to feel like they're supporting content that they love to see, that they want to see continue. You know what I mean? And they want to see evolve, and they're a part of the experience too. Because I need them to be in the audience. I can't tell jokes to no one. That's why, I mean, I hated doing like Zoom shows, because I did a couple of shows during this COVID experience where, you know what I'm saying, some East Coast shows where all you're only on a live or a Zoom. You don't get to see or hear anybody. All you can see is the comments, you know what I'm saying, coming through, and you're just hoping that they're relating to the material. Like, okay. So essentially, you're just you're talking to yourself and trying to make yourself laugh. But, you know, I digress. To my main point is, I just, you know, I put out 2 stand-up special, like mixtape special projects, because they're not like official, they're unofficial. Mm-hmm. Because it's only official when you're I feel like when you're putting a lot of money into it and you're associated with a business, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you put out a real official album, who's producing it? You're with a label, you're with all these different entities that want to support the project and push the project and market the project. I didn't really market my stand-up specials like that. I put them on YouTube, and then I called it a day. Everybody.
I love the title of your most recent project. It's called "I Hid the Car Seat for You."
Oh yeah. My bad. Thank you, Jeremy, for helping me with that. Sometimes I just get caught up in talking about the philosophy of things instead of talking about what is. You know what I mean? Because I know Greg was looking at me like, "What? Okay, he's bringing it around. I hear him.
All of it's relevant. All of it's relevant.
It's all relevant.
Oh man,
you asked me about it, so
man.
You know, I be giving a lot of backstory to things. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's important, it's relevant with the whole project. But the last project I released, the latest one is I Hid the Car Seat for You, and I named it that because it's about me being a young guy and the different experiences I go through being a single father. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So tell me this.
Well, I tell people all that, you know, as a father, I'm never really single, you know, due to the fact that I have women that I have children with. You know what I'm saying? So you know how that is, Greg. You know, if
Yeah, I
you
don't know.
do get a woman, it's not bad.
I don't know how that
Yo,
is.
you are ahead, dog. You won. Don't
Yeah.
push it. You win it.
Yeah, I don't know how that is, but I will say this though. What positive things do you feel have come out of the whole COVID situation?
Oh man, positive things, man. I've been making a lot of money. I've made a lot of money, and um, just seeing the opportunities that stemmed from the things that I held true. Like basically, a lot of people are getting opportunities now because of internet presence. It's not about who you know, it's about what you have now as far as a following, and are you consistently putting out content? Is your audience responding to your content well, which means good things for people like me, because now since I'm on that wave of putting out my own content, you got people that can't get shows but are turning into that are racking up money and racking up money in a good way for their own talents and being positive and entertaining. Like I want to give a shout out to, Tony Baker, who hit 1 million plus followers and has yet to get a TV show. Nobody knows why not, but he don't even need it. He don't even need it because he has multiple, multiple avenues of getting paid. He has a Facebook that should be in the millions now, YouTube page that's on its way, and he's receiving revenue from all these different sources, which makes him live comfortably and makes him able to travel and just do comedy full time, which is a blessing because a lot of dudes can't do that. Some dudes still have a job. You know what I mean? Comedy is his job. You know what I'm saying? So he's able to be uninhibited and create and really push the boundaries of his own skill level.
And so what would you say the negative things are that have come up out of the COVID? I mean, death, of course, death. We that's a given. But other than that, what do you think the drawbacks have been for you?
Oh, for me, just not being able to receive the instant response of performing.
Instant gratification. Tapping into an audience. The interaction.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, as a comedian, that's nigga, that's my drug.
It's so funny you said that because that's what I was gonna say. You guys need to go to Comedians Anonymous, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Greg, I ain't gonna front you, man. You've been my supplier tonight. Everything I said, I look straight into your eyes to see how you respond to it.
Oh, good.
I look straight at you like, okay, yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny, man? Whenever me and Von link, it's always like this, if not worse. Man, when we was saying in front of girl, I was like, yo, I don't even know how she gonna take this, man. Like, if she went, she had no choice. She had no choice. I feel like whatever nigga she talking to, I felt like she gave him business just because of us.
He's ruined. He's ruined.
Yeah.
But you know
the conversation got too real, and I wanted to hold back, but since I'm talking to you, I'm like, man, fuck it, like what I'm holding back.
Mine. Hey, but you know what? I'm telling you, Greg, I'm gonna be old doing this, man, because it's on some vampire shit, man. I'll be looking at, how niggas be in the back. Where how niggas they be in the back and you see a nigga who's skinny and he always gotta smoke, he always gotta weed. Man, I always gotta say something just to get a chuckle out of somebody, man. It's real bad out here.
He was going.
I'll be looking like I was the whole time, Greg. I ain't gonna front you, bro. It's funny because it's real. Like I was looking at you, man. I'm like, okay, Greg's feeling this shit. I'm gonna keep hitting him. Like and I become a symbiote to you, man.
Oh man, I'm like target, man. You know what I'm saying?
As long as you give me them chuckles, conversation can go all night, and I'll be fine with that. Get
I'm
laid or
glad you
nothing.
said. I'm glad you said you want to be the old man in the back, because the next question was actually going to be, what do you want people to say about you when you're gone?
That I want people to say that I was very practical, and practical in the sense that I gave realistic notions and stuff that is very agreeable. I would love to be looked at as very agreeable and very useful in the information that I provide, whether it's just for comic relief or for comic relief and whatever. I would love to be revered as like a George Carlin or somebody of that nature. You know, that's one of the things that I would like to have, because nothing lasts forever. If I don't do nothing supremely major, like overturn a government or assassinate somebody, then we're all going to be eventually forgotten. And then somebody will come and discover us and then repeat our own actions, but in their own way.
Right. 80 years, and I feel like the legacy that we provide extends that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Greg, do you not agree with that? You agree with that, right? There's tons of...
It's the same as, like, for me, I used to do it with records, but now I do it with YouTube. On Saturdays, I like to listen to albums, and then I also like to listen to beats, and I'll go to YouTube and I'll listen to things that I heard maybe like 20 years ago or 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's something that I really wasn't feeling, I'll listen to it to say, was this really dope? And I was just in a different place where I wasn't open to it. And I could just see that with comedy, you know what I'm saying? And then with the generations to come, they're going to have so much stuff to go back to
pull from.
Yeah.
Because you look at Nas put out a song, what was that, almost 20 years ago? Halftime, which was on Illmatic.
Yeah.
Illmatic. Yeah. So Halftime is a great song.
I'm not gonna say every word.
Jeremy perked up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Oh yeah,
I'm good. I'm chilling.
We like these albums. Shouts out to King Disease. King Disease was a good album that just came out by Nas.
I haven't heard it, but I'm gonna get it. I get it for this week.
But he came out with a song Halftime, right? And then 20 years later, you got Young Thug coming out with a song called Halftime. And both halftimes are good. It's just that one is according to the time that we're in now, and still has some of the dynamics of the time of the past, which was produced by Nas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all it showcases. Like, people look at certain comedians like they're brand new, and I look at, and since I've watched so much comedy from the past, I just look at them and I see somebody else.
Nah, that's tight. Well, man, Von, I want to thank you for tapping in, man. This was some comic relief. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I also try to bring like some kind of knowledge. I hope somebody got something out of that, because I said in the midst of the whole a bunch of the crazy shit I was saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, you're a bad influence on me, because you bring out the realness in me. So I appreciate you for it, though.
I appreciate you too, Jeremy. Hey, whenever I get around you, you spark a lot of stuff in me for me to see it. It's crazy. It's like I'm cool or something.
You got anything you want to shout out? Any projects? And something? Give your YouTube channel, your social media. All that.
Yeah, most definitely. My YouTube channel is Von Roburts. That's VON ROBURTS. It's ROBURT. And VonRoberts.com. Roberts on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Follow those, support those. I'm bringing my podcast back, where I like me just sharing my thoughts, which is, you see, it's very easy for me to do on here. But if you want more and it to go deeper down the rabbit hole, you can go check out my podcast that's coming back probably in the next few weeks. Well, not probably, but it is coming in the next few weeks. I Was Thinking podcast. which is on iTunes and whatever else comes. But I also got comedy albums on iTunes. You can check those out too. And I appreciate you, Big Greg, for bringing me on again. Shine my light on your platform.
Oh man, your boy too, man. You know what I'm saying?
I said Jeremy already knows how I feel about this nigga, so I'm saying it to you, Greg, because I don't get to talk to you as much.
I appreciate it. And a matter of fact, the last time we had you on, that was a fun time, man. Matter of fact, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, but we're gonna wait a little bit. We'll probably do it around Thanksgiving. But we'll get your other homeboy, Jeremy. That was a cool little.
Hey, how's Maceo too, man? Because I was like, man, Maceo's tight. This nigga told me I was great. I was like, damn, a nigga from motherfucking De La Soul told me I was great. That's awesome.
Maceo is good. Maceo is good. He's doing his thing. He's killing it on Twitch.
Oh,
Maceo, full circle. Maceo, I literally saw him like literally a few days after we kicked it. I saw him with the boys.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. No, the world. I tell everybody, the world's the size of a shot glass, man. You can think it's not. You know, you can think it's not, man. Like I've seen. I ain't gonna tell the whole long, belabored story, but I've seen a dude in London that I kicked it with in LA for like 4 years. I would see him at the clubs and we'd hang out and everything. And I was standing out in front of a venue in London at sound check. And he just rolled up on me on the bike. He's like, oh, smooch. I was like, oh, what's up? I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying? And I just say that to say, we think the world is big, man, but it's not as large as what we think. For real.
It's really not. And if you experience travel, which I implore everybody to do, me and Jeremy have met some amazing people in our travels, man. And they've always been the underbelly or the underdog or the unseen that have popularized some of people's favorite icons.
Yeah.
What's up with you, Jeremy? You got anything you want to shout out? Anything you got going on?
I just got a write up in Voyage LA. Voyage LA, I think it's .com, something like that. Also was it a comedy? I'm messing this up. Comedy Network Live. I got to write up on there currently, and I got one coming up. Other than that, everything else, Instagram is at Jeremy Comedy. Everything else is Jeremy Scipio, SEIPPIO.com.
Yeah, well, man, I want to thank you guys, man. It's been a cool little Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV. Once again, man, I really appreciate you, Vaughn, for tapping in. And Jeremy, it's always a pleasure. That was Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV. Peace.
Yeah.